Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are making ube macarons. So what I did is I sifted 1.5 cups of almond flour and 2 cups of powdered sugar. Those are the measurements for doubling the recipe, but for the original recipe, the measurements for the almond flour is 3/4 cup, and then the powdered sugar is 1 cup. So I sifted those ingredients, and those are for the shells of the macaron. You can use any type of almond flour. You can use the finely sifted one that don't show the almond shells on it, or you can use this one if it's like at home. But if you're doing it for a gift, then you can do the finely sifted one. So now you're gonna need 2 egg whites, but for the double recipe, it's 4. And then for the cream of tartar, it's going to be 1/8 teaspoon for the regular recipe and 2/8 teaspoons for this one. And then this is 8 tablespoons of sugar, but for the regular recipe, it's going to be 4 tablespoons. So for the filling, we are going to need 1 small to medium sized ube, boiled. And then you're gonna boil it like potatoes, where it's fork tender. Then we're gonna need condensed milk. We're gonna use about half of the can for your desired sweetness. You can use how much you want. And then we are going to use Philadelphia cream cheese. And if you don't have cream cheese, you can use half a cup of half and half. So now you're going to need a little bit of pure vanilla extract. And if you don't already have purple food coloring, you can combine red and blue to make purple. And then for these sprinkles, we're going to sprinkle them on top of the macarons before we bake them. And here are all my measuring tools that I use. So I put them in a bowl to grab them as I need it, so they're not all scattered all over the place. So now we're going to do the egg whites. And if you have one of these KitchenAid, then you want to be really careful because it's heavy, like that. And then we're going to pour our egg whites in here. And then you want to pull it down and lock it to be safe. And then we are going to beat this first until it gets a little frothy. So when it gets to this consistency, then you can add your cream of tartar, 2/8 of a teaspoon. And then you're going to want to add your sugar a little bit at a time. And then you want to put this down and make sure to lock it. And then start mixing. So almost that stiff peaks. Time to add your food coloring. So you can use red and blue, or if you have purple already, then you can use that. Okay, now I'm going to add the red. So just keep adding until you get that perfect color that you like. So you know it's done when it looks like this and it's hanging with a stiff peak. So now you're going to take all of this off into the bowl, and we're going to pour it into this almond flour and powdered sugar mixture. Now that it's poured in here, you're going to scrape the sides of the bowl to get all of it mixed in. But you don't want to mix it, you want to fold it. And you're going to do this for about 35 to 50 times until it has a ribbon consistency. So after you fold it and you do it well, and then you get this ribbon consistency, then you're ready to put it in the piping bag. So you can use the piping bag of your choice, anyone you would like. And if you have a mat like we do, then you can use that. But if you don't have one, you can use parchment paper. Or if you don't know what size to do it, you can use a stencil. But this mat has stencils on it. You can create it with like tracing paper or something. So now I'm going to take the cap off of this and then pipe it on here. So I didn't like that piping bag as much, but if you guys don't like something that you tried, always go back to your original one that you always use. So since that one didn't work, I had to use a Ziploc bag because we were out of piping bags. So, but yeah. So now we have to tap it like this and get all the air bubbles out. And the piping bag that I prefer to use is Wilton, just like this cookie sheet. So now we have to tap all the air bubbles out. Before they get dry, you're going to want to sprinkle some on only half of them because the bottom ones don't need sprinkles. And then if you want to add a little extra, you could do this and put a little bit more. But then so you're going to want, after you do this, you're going to want to let it dry for 15 to 30 minutes. And then in about 10 minutes from now, you're going to preheat your oven to 300 degrees. So it's been about 10 minutes already, so I already preheated the oven. And then I'm going to let this sit. I finished decorating half of them. And now we're going to do the filling. So now we're starting the filling, and we're going to use about 1/4 of this cream cheese and make sure that it is room temperature. So like about here, and then going to put that in. And make sure you always wash the top of your cans before opening them. We are going to use about 1/4 of this too. And then we're going to taste it after to see if it needs more. So now I'm going to plug this in. Put it in here. And then okay, so you want to have a nice whipped consistency, like creamy whipped consistency, but you don't want it to be runny because then it will ooze out of the macaron. So we added a little bit more cream cheese and condensed milk. And make sure that you scrape the sides of the bowl to make sure that all of the ingredients get mixed in. So now that it's at 300 degrees, make sure your rack is at the top. You want to turn it in here like that. And then I'm going to time it for 6 minutes. And start. So then When the timer is up, we're going to switch it. We're going to turn it around and do it for 7 minutes. So this is how they look when they cool off. And you can see the feet right there. And that shows how nicely it rose. And if some of them get stuck together like these, then you could just like get a knife and then like separate them like very carefully. Then we went ahead and put the ube filling into a bag. We still have this much batter left, and it can make about half a batch. So we're going to take those off of the mat and put this on there to bake. And then we went ahead and put the ube filling in a Ziploc bag because we ran out of piping bags. And I suggest that you guys use the Wilton because it works really good and it doesn't like pop or anything. Okay, so now you're going to take one of your plain ones and get this on like that. And make sure that it isn't runny so that it doesn't ooze out of the macaron. Then I'm gonna go like this. Make sure not to crack the shell while you're pushing it down on. And there you go. So if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new. And I hope you like this recipe. Bye!